And clap. I said it instead of doing it. perSPECtive. That's what we're doing.
Yeehaw.
That's our new tagline.
perSPECtive, that's what we're doing.
That's
Yeehaw.
what we're doing. Oh boy, this is just a week. A week we're gonna talk about board games. Who knows? No topic, just chat.
I'm down with that.
Wake up.
Wake up. You didn't bring any coffee.
See me sleepy. I drank a cup on the way here.
Well, we haven't seen Max in a little bit. Have you played any games?
Yeah. I've played Gods Love Dinosaurs. It's pretty good.
Is that a kid's game?
No.
No.
No, it's like no.
Okay.
I think like a kid's. It's a weird sort of ecosystem balance. You're laying down tiles and you're getting like prey out, and then you can lay down tiles and get predators out, and the predators have to eat the prey, and then there's more predators, and then you have dinosaurs that can activate, and they eat anything, but if they eat predators, they get points, which are eggs. So you're kind of trying to grow out your little island and keep your prey and predators in balance, and then activate dinosaurs. But there's a weird activation system. So it's got this weird tempo sort of to it. Yeah, it's interesting. It's pretty fun.
Gods Love Dinosaurs?
Yeah, it's done by Pandasaurus Games.
By Pandasaurus.
I need to play more games by Pandasaurus because I haven't been a huge fan of their stuff yet. Like I didn't like Dinosaur Island, which I think is them, right?
I'll bring
Is it?
Yeah. I'll bring Gods Love Dinosaurs.
I liked Hanami. That's them too, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one's good.
Yes. They also did. Did they do the? It's the spatial awareness tile one with like the paths that you're trying to connect. Yeah, thank you, Pass Tally.
Oh, I think they also did Wasteland Express Delivery Service, which was interesting. Game.
I don't even know that one.
It's like a pick up and deliver Mad Max sort of.
What the fuck, Keegan?
Sorry, I'm posting that we're game chatting.
I also played Hansa Teutonica, which I think I hate.
Really?
You don't.
But I liked.
Oh gosh, what does that mean?
Why'd you hate it? It's supposed to be super mean, right?
It's very mean. And Aiden and Bram blocked me out of the spot that lets you get more actions in the game, so I felt pretty handicapped. And I did a dumb. It was like a learning game, but we all did a bunch of really dumb moves, and the game took too long. So I want to play it again. I think it will be good. But instead of like just going and doing something else because they were blocking me, I just kept being stubborn and trying to get more actions and getting blocked, and then Bram just kept trying to block me, which kind of let Aiden do whatever he wanted. But it ended up being still a pretty close game. But it was interesting. I want to play it again. I want to make you guys play it.
I want to play it. I have it. And
you have it, don't you? Do you have the big box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big box.
And then I made Aiden play Carpe Diem so I could teach it to you guys for our Feld stuff.
Right.
And I don't want to give away how I feel about that yet. So.
About Carpe Diem?
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious how you feel about it because I've heard people really like that one.
I'm saying nothing. I see you got Kanban.
Yeah, you got
Kanban. I got Kanban in.
Bullshit, I still have not got mine.
That's surprising. I wonder what's taking you Griffin so long to get everything in this time.
I don't know. Well, wait, did you just get Kanban?
No, I got Kanban and I got my Age of Steam maps that I bought with it.
Okay, I mean, I got Gallerist. Nope. Yes, Gallerist with it.
Aren't you getting...
So maybe that's why it's taking longer?
Didn't you get Vinhos too?
No, I did not get Vinhos.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember now.
I'm trying to think if I've played anything else. Oh, we also played a game called Alien Frontier.
Frontier.
Which I really didn't care that much for, so it's not really that worth bringing up.
It's 2 games now that you didn't particularly... That's rare for Max.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, Keegan, have you played what's that space one that we just played recently?
Oh, Beyond the Sun?
Beyond
No,
the Sun.
Keegan
Have
didn't
you
play
played it? No.
Not yet. One of my friends, Herb, keeps asking me to play it with him on TTS because he loves it.
It's all right.
It's one. First off, okay. Max and I very much disagree on this. I hate the artwork. It looks
It's really
like
plain looking.
yeah, like some of the cards and stuff are just white.
All of the cards are white.
Yeah, pretty much all the cards
Except
are
for
just
the
white.
planet cards.
And you're like, oh, was this? You got a prototype copy and you're waiting for the final art to come in. Oh no, that's the actual copy. Oh, okay. Cool.
It looks fine. Like it's not
dumb.
like that great looking. It looks sleek, I think.
No, it does not
Kinda
look sleek.
streamlined.
It purely looks like they printed on some cardboard, and they're like, "We'll get the art in later."
But if the game was really
Oh,
good,
we shipped the game and we forgot to put the art in.
But if the game was really good, I don't like I.
But I mean, the game was just fine.
I think if there's a really good game and the art's ugly, I mean, we always kind of argue about this, but like I think the art helps or can get you interested in the game. But if it looks okay or even slightly ugly, I guess it could have some charm to it. Like there's certain like Castles of Burgundy or even Carpe Diem. I've taken craps that look better than Carpe Diem. Like Carpe Diem is.
But
at least they have. It's not just a white, like pure white background.
See, that didn't bother me, but the game was just like what's so weird is it's on a lot of people's like lists for like their game of 2020 or like and stuff like
bullshit.
that are like really high. And like
it's not that good of like
yeah.
There's two aspects of the game that feel like each of them are their own big thing. But then this like exploration seems so much smaller
So
when
anybody
it feels
who
like
happens
it
to
should
be
be
listening
bigger.
to this, we're talking about Beyond the Sun,
Yes.
and you're either like one part of the game is a technology tree that you're kind of branching off and exploring, and the other part is like an area control map that you have ships that are kind of exploring, and the area control is fine. Like the way the ships work,
Yeah.
it's like very simple, which is kind of nice, but it's also just not interesting at all, and
Yeah.
it's boring, and it's like I'd rather play like Owari or any other area control game.
Yeah.
And then the technology tree thing, I think could be really cool. Maybe like the 3 or 4 times I played, it just happened to not be.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
it's
like
the cards don't feel that different. That I
Yeah.
almost wish that the technologies were super broken or something. Like, so it felt like everything was different. But it just kind of felt like, I research a level 2 tech makes my ships a little better. Oh, level 3 tech makes my ships move a little more. Oh, level 4 tech, it gives me points at the end. Oh, I research like none of the technologies felt super interesting or felt like they gelled super well with something. And then it definitely felt like
the focus should have been a lot more on this technology thing than it sort of being split between the two.
And then there was a lot of luck to it. Like, I mean, like we did play the way. There's 2 different ways to play the game. You can play where you can see where the technologies are, or you can play where the technologies kind of get randomly picked out of a couple different ones. But yeah, so if you do it that way, there's definitely technologies that are going to be more powerful than others potentially. And then like, you know, if so-and-so has it, then you're going to want to try and get it. But if you haven't even advanced in that tree at all, it might be really hard to get to. Anyway, it was okay, but I think like MSRP, it's like $75 or
yeah.
something.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
Stupid. Again, it's just, I think that's also hearing the price and then looking at the art and going, oh, fuck off. Like this is clearly a money grab. Like it did not cost you nearly $75 to produce this and ship this. There has got to be a lot overhead. Like you made quite a bit of money on these copies.
Yeah.
it's just
This is ridiculous. I
it's
see
all right.
Architects gives you more stuff, more artwork for a less price.
Red Cathedral.
Red Cathedral. Yeah, like you're just like, yeah, you literally you went to a website and bought like just pieces for a prototype, just blank pieces, and then you just printed on that, like black print on them.
I almost wish I hadn't sold it so we could do a
This is-
review of it, but I just was so unhappy with it and disappointed in it, especially after all the like rave reviews I'd heard about it, that I sold it and I went and bought Arnak. Lost Ruins of Arnak instead for $10 cheaper than Beyond the Sun, and I'm very
That's
happy
more.
with that game. And there's so much that comes with that game.
Yeah.
Like that game I feel like it earns its price point, even though it's a little pricey too. But
I mean, I was put off from Beyond the Sun from the get-go because it's space themed, and I don't really care for anything space themed at all.
Even though you went in on like,
I do.
What is that? Was it
I
Alien
like it.
Moons?
I did that because I like the artwork for it, because the artwork is like very like the Iron Giant mixed with like, fuck, what's it called? Like BioShock looking ish with like the
What
like
game
the
is
big
this?
font Galilean moons.
I don't even think I've heard of this game.
It's a New Zealand game. I backed it on Kickstarter, and my name was on one of the cards, and Shem Phillips' name was on one of the cards too, which I thought was cool. I really wanted to message him and be like, "Hey, we just interviewed you, but look at this, we're on cards together." I got it because the artwork looks great, and then like I heard it's another area control game, and I was hearing really good things about it, and it's also a small, just like it's one guy, and I wanted to
played it yet?
support him, so that's different.
Yeah.
But like just in general, like space stuff just doesn't really do things for me, really. Like if I see a game as a space game, like that's another big reason why I got like Terra Mystica over Gaia Project. Like I've heard people say Gaia Project's the better game, but I don't care that it's space theme. I'd rather have the boring ass, dwarves and mermaid shit from Terra Mystica.
I was reading an article about like saying that it's overdone, like this medieval theme is like just oversaturated and stuff. But I'm like, it is, but it's also like, it doesn't, like with new ones coming out, I'm not like, oh, here's another one. Like it's a familiar theme that I like personally. I really love. I love that theme. So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
the
you like
more
the
of
theme,
them,
though.
I'm not gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
another one.
Right, but if it was like a theme you didn't particularly.
But there's a
care
lot of
for or
space
weren't drawn
themes,
to.
right,
Do you not
out
care
there?
about space stuff?
I don't care about
okay.
space, but I'm not. I also like when I see a new one come out. I'm not like, ugh, another space theme. I'm just like, okay, like I'll check this game out. Let me see how these mechanics are. But I'm not like super drawn to it. But I'm also not like, this is overdone. Stop doing it. Like
think there's just
people
themes that are
like
easy
that's
to-
like it's a theme, an idea that people really love. Like I don't understand this. Like we need to stop doing this. Like no, people like it for a reason. There's reasons that there's so many stories.
Yeah.
on it. It's this fantasy aspect that
It's
You
all just
want
like
to hear.
personal opinion
Oh.
stuff. It's like the only thing that
Keegan,
gets me to
you're
go, oh,
muted?
another one is like if I see another roll and write game, like I'm just
we
like
can't hear you.
at all.
We lost Keegan here for a little bit. Technical issues. Great.
I just
Weird.
think that there are themes that, like fantasy or like medieval and even space science fiction stuff. It just is. It lends itself easily to theme. Like you can easily make up a game with a theme that can just fit that easily. I get like you want something new. Like I mean, like I get like it's like when people had like Marvel fatigue of like just superhero movies over and over and over. Like people are like, okay, let's stop and like wait for a little before we get another. Like you just get
But
fatigue or something. But I
weird thing
personally
is, like,
like medieval and science
yeah.
fiction, so I feel fine about it.
And,
but,
and
like,
it's not like those people designing them, like that. They're not like just like stop doing it and start doing new things. Those people aren't necessarily like. Or like if you think of like the Marvel, it's not like they're gonna suddenly stop doing Marvel and only do some new theme or something, right? It's just like they know this and they're very good at it, and if they like it, why should they stop doing it? Like how about we also just at the same time just encourage new people, like new directors, new people, new designers to come out with other things, and that's fine.
I don't know.
There's-
Playing.
Am I back?
Nope.
No?
I don't know if it's us or.
It might be
pick
you
that up
guys. I
again.
didn't touch anything on my end.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, Ryan.
Okay.
did
I
it.
might have touched something.
Oh,
that was
you
probably
were
my
on
fault.
this, and you were pulling
Oh.
that out there.
Okay.
You goober. I was saying the only thing that gets me to like fatigue in games anymore, and this was last year mainly, is roll and writes. Like if I see another damn roll and write, I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't want another roll and write. No matter how like different it is or how big it is, I just don't give a shit anymore about roll and
But-
writes.
See, I think Yeah, I don't particularly care for roll and writes. I know people really love it, but I'm also not like, ugh, why are we still doing roll and writes? I'm like, all right, there's people that design them. They're going to keep doing it. People are going to play it. There's so many other games coming out that it's not like taking away from opportunities. It just, if those people stop doing roll and writes, doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to do something new, right? Like, it's not. Okay, yeah.
We're just spoiled. Is it? Something of blessings, or I can't remember this saying. What's the something? We just have so many options. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we're so lucky with how many good games have been coming out. It's like, we're like, oh, another this type of game? Why couldn't you have themed it like that,
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely people that are opposite of us, though, too. There's people that are like, yes, more roll and writes, thank you. And
I mean, that's fine, yeah. Like,
yeah, that's fine. It's just it's all subjective stuff.
Yeah. So I was just like, what is this article that I'm reading? This is you're just like bitching at nothing. Like, how about you go design a game then with a new theme, huh?
I mean, the main thing, as we all know, that we can bitch about for days, which is me, is Kickstarter.
I was gonna say, do we want to go on a whole discussion about because what was that? You sent me that video. Who was it talking about Kickstarter?
Oh, that guy.
That guy.
I can't remember who it is, but yeah, about if anyone has backed Onimaru.
Oh yes, that's what it was.
Manchukuo, Sweet Mess, or Montana, I'm very, very sorry for you, and I'm one of those people, and Ryan is also one of those people.
Yeah.
So
what happened?
We are never getting your games. Just accept we're never going to get those games.
He keeps doing Kickstarters and not fulfilling them.
Oh.
There's a very high chance that all the money is gone because it much feels like, because it's between two different companies, which is fucked up as it is, and it very much feels like he did the first Kickstarter, ran out of money, made the second Kickstarter to fund that game beforehand, not the game that Kickstarter was for, and the cycle never worked for him.
Of course, why would that work?
It's a foolish idea, and then also the fact that he posted a spreadsheet showing where all the money was going. And part of the money is he gave himself a CEO salary of $4,000, but that's just for one company. So more than likely he was giving himself a CEO salary for both companies. So he was taking $8,000 a month from these projects that got fulfilled that he hasn't done anything for.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you don't get paid until you've actually delivered a product. Mm-hmm. And then I guess apparently people are I guess, sympathizing for him and saying that oh, I'm here backing a person, not a project. But that's a complete bullshit argument.
Yep.
It's the Kickstarters are for a specific game. There's nothing in there saying, oh, I'm working on board games, help me build up company to then be able to produce them, and maybe you'll get some discounts.
It's not like the Shut Up and Sit Down or the No Pun Included campaigns they do on Kickstarter, where it's a once or twice a year fund us so we can keep making content. And you know that you're giving them money to support them directly.
Exactly. This is, you're specifically buying, helping them to produce a game. You
want.
Yeah, you're buying a specific product that you're expecting to be delivered. This isn't you can be like, I like this guy also, and I want to help support him, but you're also specifically buying this game. It doesn't go, you're not going to get things, you're not going to get a different game by going this. You're not in the specific wording of them is very specifically to that game. It's not a building up this company because we need money to whatever for overhead, for all this other things.
It's fairly rare, I think, at least for board games on Kickstarter. I don't know about other things because I've only ever kickstarted board games. But is there a thing of I can't remember, because is there a thing where if it doesn't get fulfilled, it's kind of I don't know, so I'm asking.
I mean, we don't have.
Is it is it just kind of
there's no recourse.
It's kind of almost like stock market gambling in a way. For
we can't do anything about it if we don't get our games.
You're just putting money into hope that this works out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it feels like there should be a platform that can a way of punishing. Because if you promise something to a consumer in the business, just within commercial space and you don't do it, there's repercussions for it, right? Like if you don't give a backer an investor what you promise them, there's repercussions for it. And
is it just because on Kickstarter there's not like a statute of limit? Like it's like I could still be working on it for 10 years or something?
Well, no, it's just the platform. It's just a platform to say, like, it's nothing. It's not like a company that is holding anything to a standard. It's just giving people a platform to be able to raise the funds to do this. And you say, I'm going to do it, but Kickstarter is not providing any sort of legal backing behind it.
I'm looking at the page now too, just to see. So just to also clarify, he still has up links that lets you pre-order copies. So don't fall for that shit, because you're not going to get a copy. But then, like, he got mad at people because there's people trying to do chargebacks on their cards. Since, like, this was supposed to be, at least Onimaru was supposed to be delivered over a year ago at this point.
Yep.
And people were, like, calling their credit card companies and saying, like, hey, I got this charge from, like, a year ago, but this isn't getting fulfilled. Can I do a chargeback? And some people's companies are being good and letting them get the money back. Mm-hmm. And then Jason, the creator, was calling them out saying, like, how do you try to take your money back from me and try to steal your money back? And it's like, you're not delivering anything. Like, it's been 2 years, and their last update was like 2 months ago, and it was the rulebook's almost done.
Yeah.
That was the last update.
Same with Manchukuo. It's the updates between updates is so long. And who's the guy?
Do we want to say his name?
I don't care. Yeah.
They can look it up. I don't know.
I mean, I'll just say the company's name. It's Big Kid Games and then Penguin and Panda Productions.
Yes. So
I know
all those
Penguin
games...
and Panda Productions had another game that they were planning on doing, but I think enough people on Kickstarter were like, if you put this one up, we are going to try to take it down. Like, a bunch of us, including myself, messaged Kickstarter and CrowdOx and said, like, he's trying to put a third project up under Penguin Panda, and 2 of them haven't been fulfilled, and one from his other company hasn't been fulfilled yet. Don't let him put another one up.
Well, I think the board game community is small enough still to where, like, I think you get one of those, and then I guess maybe 2 if he's done it twice. But I just mean, like,
he's done it
3 times now.
4 times.
Oh, really?
3 times.
Like, I just mean at that point, like, I think you will have made it. I mean, I'm saying this and I haven't heard of it, but I mean, like, I do feel like it's small enough to where you do that, and, like,
I mean,
you're not gonna be making games in the future probably if you're like
that, or you're selling your design to a company that will publish it.
Well, here's the thing that happened with Sweet Mess too, because he's between the 3 campaigns, he has like $600,000 almost in between the 3 campaigns, and Sweet Mess has been like sitting there for how long, waiting on these fucking chef hats apparently, or something, like, as a big component of the game, and nothing's been done about it. And then in his last update, where he had the big ass spreadsheet saying, like, here's where all the money breaks down, and it's like, this isn't all the money, where's the rest?
Yeah.
He talks about how he sold the rights for Sweet Mess to, I think, Asmodee or some other company, so that company's going to produce the game now. So then it's also like, so the people that backed Sweet Mess on Kickstarter, are they not getting a copy then through the new company? Do they have to actually re-buy the game again because it's not getting produced through you anymore? Like, how's this working out now? Because I don't think this other company is going to honor, like, the initial investment that didn't get given to them directly in the first place. Like, it's so fucked up and messed up.
I mean, this could end up going bad on Asmodee then if
I don't know if it's actually Asmodee, but I know some other company picked up the project.
I mean, if they don't recognize it, and they can get some pretty big backlash.
Isn't it appropriate though that the project's called Sweet Mess? I mean, like,
should have been called Hot Mess.
It should have been called Hot Mess.
So I guess the lesson is Kickstarter's always a gamble.
Yeah, it is. I mean yeah, you know it's going into it.
That's only why I've done a couple, or I've done ones that it's like have already been like either big companies that have like fulfilled things before, or.
But I also do want to.
Oh, it's not official yet, but they're talking to AEG about getting it picked up by them.
People should start tweeting at AEG.
Being like, don't pick it up. I feel like people
probably
are
you're going to get some,
Well, unless he returns the money.
He's not.
He won't return
There's
the
no more money anymore. The money doesn't exist. He probably spent it all.
I guess this is an acceptable cancel culture moment.
It's not necessarily cancel culture, though. It's you fucked up, so you have to live with the consequences. It's consequences for your actions.
And we're gonna stop you from making more board games on Kickstarter.
Yeah, because you fucked up. It would be different if it was like a petty mistake that's just like that's, I think for me, like the difference between like a cancel culture and a consequence is like cancel culture is like someone does like a petty mistake or something that they try to rectify and then they just get shut out entirely. Whereas this consequence to this person is 100% warranted.
Yeah.
Or like he just took this money and is not doing anything with it.
Which is an appropriate cancel culture. Is one where
we should say though, like potentially and allegedly, and that we know of, because watch him come out tomorrow and be like, "Here's the games, you guys," and we'll be like, "Oh no,
it's not happening. It's not happening. He's lied so many times on his update. They're not coming out. So, fuck him. But there's a cool thing because I know Eagle Griffin just did a new Kickstarter for a couple of smaller games, and the thing that they're doing now I really like.
Eagle Griffin's gonna do smaller games?
It's a couple of games they've had in their catalog, or one game was in their catalog before, and this is a reissue of it, and then I think the other one's new.
It's still going to come in a large box.
I'm just laughing because every Eagle Griffin game I've seen is like
box.
The craziest, like Rococo. It's like
it'd be great.
You just got like a million things. What game is it?
Road to Canterbury is one, and I can't remember the other one, but they're in the same Kickstarter campaign. But what I like that they're doing is they're not doing this dumb deluxe thing anymore that gives you FOMO. Instead, what they're doing is giving you Kickstarter credit. So if you back their game on Kickstarter, you get a credit for future Eagle Griffin Kickstarters to discount the future ones.
Oh, that's actually really
So you're not missing out on
Yeah.
anything. You're getting a Kickstarter discount on the games in general, and you're getting a future discount on another game you'll back from them.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
I'm
actually
100%
really cool.
down with that model.
Yeah.
That model's great.
That's a good business model, yeah.
That's actually really interesting.
You don't get these people that feel like they're like completionist FOMO people that are like, if I don't back this now, I won't get everything.
Yeah.
Which is such a cop-out way of trying to get people to back your project.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a nicer...
I prefer the way that Renegade Games, Garfield Games does their Kickstarters. It's everything is there from the beginning. I mean, I guess like, yeah, I kind of like the seeing like unlocking those certain
like the stretch goals.
Yeah, but it almost feels like certain ones should, I don't know, like if you made it where you know that they're automatically going to be in, but you just present the campaign almost in a way that like, ooh, we've unlocked this, what comes next? What do we get to see? Instead of like, I guess maybe it's not like, are we going to make it there? But like, just like throughout the process, what are we getting next? It's kind of like an excitement thing where like, it's just new things getting revealed for the game, but that we're already going to be there. Just to, I guess.
Not like one of those, if we don't hit this landmark, then you won't get it at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, even those things that you don't necessarily need, because, like, look at leader games. Like, Oath, from the get-go, it's like, here's everything you're getting for Oath, and it's made over, like, what, $1 million?
Yeah.
Some companies just don't need that model, because, like, everyone just trusts them and likes what they're doing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I think Garfield Games can get away with that now, too. Like, everyone loves Shem and the stuff he produces. Like, he could just be like, here's everything you're getting, and then everyone would back it.
I think that's, like, Viscounts was that way.
Yeah.
I think Paladins was that way too. I don't think they had like, the stretch goals that may or may not have been met. I think they just did everything from the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mind it if there's that stuff, as long as it's like you can make it available.
Yeah.
Like you have, if you kicked it, you're gonna get it now. But if you didn't kick it, it's like it's available. Like I'm thinking like War of Whispers was a game when it came out. They had like retail and they had the deluxe version or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was it was kickstarted. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
In that game, they had like the citadels that are worth points at the end of the game were like actually like plastic pieces, but the towers and the farms weren't. You just kind of had to know where they were on the board. Now they did, I know they did I think it's the second Kickstarter, but I know they came out with another Kickstarter, and it was done where the forts and the towns were also plastic pieces, so you actually could see them. They weren't just like on the board. So I don't know if the first Kickstarter just didn't make enough money to make it feasible to make those like 3D printed things. Because I don't know if it was like, oh, if you get this far, we'll unlock farms. You get this far, we'll unlock cats. So I get why there's that thing, but they did make like on release, they did make it like a retail and a deluxe version. So I don't mind it when games do that necessarily. I don't like it when they do the thing where it's like you only get this if you kickstart it. It will never be available later. And then people try and sell it for like $400 like afterwards and stuff like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, like
I really hate that stuff.
if like, we'll just go with some of the West Kingdom ones. If like the promo cards, you had just a few of them that became stretch goals, but knew that they were going to be available later. It's just you're going to get them earlier and maybe at just a discount for being part of the Kickstarter, or the Kickstarter just helping them make more money, whatever. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal because then you're not fully missing out, right? They're still there. You can get them. They're part of their promo shop. But you just get them as part of base game rather than buying them later.
Right.
I know you guys have a lot more opinions about Kickstarter stuff than me, though, because I don't back that many. I usually just buy them later once they've already... I hate going to a Kickstarter getting excited about a game, and then it's like, oh, will be delivered in a year and a half from now. And I'm like, no. I'll buy it from somebody who gets it a year and a half from now, who doesn't want it, and I might pay a little bit more, but I'd rather know that everything came out, that it's a game that I know I want. I mean, unless I'm like trying to support a certain developer or something like that. Otherwise, I don't like the like waiting. I don't like the like delay. Oh, they didn't get this shipment. Oh, it's this country got it, but you didn't get it, and all that stuff. Like it drives I'm like too anxious. I hate it. So I'm like, I'll just buy it from somebody once they get it and sell it, and then I know like whether I'll like it or not, and I'll know whether there was like production mistakes and all that.
It also feels like maybe games shouldn't be going to Kickstarter so early. Like the game should be almost complete by the time it's ready, so that it's basically like once that is over, they just are pretty much maybe having to buy, just like pay for some like prototype like pieces and stuff to make sure things work, but then you're printing right away and almost going to it. But again, I don't know, because I don't know like that entire process, like how much it cost. Like at what point in the process did it start costing quite a bit of money?
I don't know. Like I did the Spirit Island Jagged Earth, which that was a long wait. I want to say it was almost a year and a half. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But I think a lot of that, there's so much art in that game. So, so every card has different art on it. So, I think it just depends on how big it is, and how much they're doing in it.
I guess like Frosthaven, why like maybe it felt like it was too soon to have started that campaign, because they had so much to still do while the campaign was going on.
But it will only have been like a year or so, won't it, from when we to supposed delivery to when it was kickstarted? From when it was kickstarted,
I think it was a little longer.
A little longer than a year.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just remember seeing the updates, and it's just like they're talking about the actual development of the game. Like that feels like it should be farther along when you start the campaign.
Yeah, I think using Kickstarter as more of a way of like gauging how many copies you need to print, I think is like a better way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, you can still have the game pretty developed, almost finalized by the time you need to go and figure out how many copies. But
yeah, I don't know. You guys kick a lot more games than me. In the end, I'm like, I'm glad Kickstarter is an option, and I'm glad it's one of those things. I feel like, I think it's done a lot for the board game world and hobby. So like, I'm glad it's there. I'm very picky and choosy with what I do. You guys Kickstart everything, so you have a lot more room to complain than I do.
I backed my first Kickstarter in 5 or 6 months yesterday.
Oh, okay. What'd you back?
Dang.
Carnegie.
Carnegie.
I don't know. See, I'm not even on there.
It's
yeah,
the
so-
same guy that designed Ginkopolis, so that's the main reason.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here, Carnegie. The
Did you
deluxe
back it
one.
too?
There's 16 days left on it.
Did you back it?
No, I didn't even see it. I don't even know. Boom.
Now you did.
Strategic board game by Xavier George.
Did you guys back Darwin's
Wait, wait.
Journey? How
Who
did you guys feel about? Oh
Yeah, I did
How did
back
you guys
it.
feel about Darwin's Journey?
I didn't like
You
it.
you should watch our video, and you'll know because we
You guys
talk about it at
should've
the end.
Waited for me to play with you.
I mean, I'll play it again, but my initial things is I don't like it.
Really?
I enjoyed it because it was very heavy combo creating. It was
I
very
like the
much
combo
like,
aspect of it, but the game feels like it's too much tacked on. Like I don't think it's very clean. I don't think it's a very elegant design.
I felt that Darwin's Journey does a better job of comboing than Praga Caput Regni. I liked the comboing in Darwin's Journey
Have you
more than
played-
Praga.
Have you played Praga yet, Keegan?
Not yet. I need to.
It's both the same of like you're building like you're trying to create combos.
I have my opinions on Praga, but we're gonna save that for a video, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't want to say too much.
When we played Darwin's Journey, the first thing I said when we were done was like, if we are gonna play like a combo heavy game, I would rather play Trismegistus because Trismegistus, your combo board is your player board, so all your info that you need is right here in front of you, and this is what you're trying to focus on. Whereas Darwin's Journey, here's a section you can combo with this section down here, and then up here, and here's your board that can combo with this section over here. Like, there's too much fucking shit to look at. Like, it was too much for me. Like, I don't want to focus on a million things to figure out where to go just to make this combo down here work. I just want all of it organized in one spot.
You're not gonna like Beyond the Sun. That board is huge, and you have to like read all the information is everywhere.
Yeah.
Not in the same way that Darwin's Journey is, though. Definitely not the same.
But there's just like so much cards you have to read in iconography. Like I just meant like you could have a level 4 technology up here on the board, but then there's the sideboard for the thing that's over here. But then the technology you need to activate is here. But then there's this one that it's like it's not. I mean, like it's not very combo. I just mean like the information spread is pretty wide in that game. If like you didn't like Darwin's Journey, like
I think if you play Darwin's Journey, you're gonna see that it's different.
yeah,
It's
I mean to play it.
I don't know. I thought I found it exciting when I was like, oh, if I do something over here, it's going to trigger something over here. Oh, damn, now it triggers over here, and then it comes back up here. Ooh, then I go back down over here, and I was having a lot of fun with it. I don't know. Like, the discovery of finding those combos I found just a lot of fun, and I was like, ooh, this is tickling my brain. This is a lot of fun.
It's the same designer of Lorenzo Magnifico, right?
And Newton.
At Newton.
Okay.
It's I don't know. I for me personally, I didn't like it. Like I can see why people would like it. I can see like the merits of the game, but I think it's kind of sloppy.
Speaking of combos, I saw you're selling Russian Railroads.
Mm-hmm.
What? I thought that was like one of your favorite games.
Are you going to get the new? Are you getting the new one?
The new edition's coming out that has more expansions in it, so I'll just get rid of this one and buy the new one later.
Ah, no, I'm going to do it. Fuck you.
Oh, it comes with I thought I saw something. It comes with like an Asia map or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Asian Railroads. It comes with everything plus new stuff. So I'm just gonna try to get rid of my copy now that someone wants like this version, and then I'll just get the new one. Also, it's like I've been just playing it on BGA anyway, and BGA makes the scoring so easy because it just automates everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need this physical copy right now.
Oh my gosh, how much is Carnegie?
I am picking up Macau tomorrow though.
What?
That's right, you were saying
From
that.
where?
From our buddy
Bruno?
JR.
Oh, JR is selling Macau to you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, JR.
Because he said that he has like 2 or 3 people in his friend group that also have it, and his copy hasn't like left the shelf in however long because they just play everyone else's copy.
Okay.
So he's selling it to me. So then we have that for our Feld month.
Well, that's really nice. Thank you, JR. Shout out.
And JR is the best.
Yeah, because I bought Aquasphere from him because he said same thing. It had just been sitting on his shelf, and I think it's like sun bleached even. It looks like when you go to the video store and like that would have like the Disney DVDs in the family section that had been there for like 10 years and they were like all bleached out. This was what the board looks like in Aquasphere.
JR is going to be one of the first people we're going to have to do a big group gaming session with when we can all see each other in person again.
Yeah. That'd be rad. Have you met JR?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But
he's a great dude.
He's awesome.
I was just thinking, talking about Macau and some of the other Feld games. Someone else is doing a Feld series.
Who?
Are they German? It's like the guy and the
like
girl.
Everybody does. Like I was just watching.
But like they're doing. I'm trying to remember.
I was just
Board Game Ramblings.
No, they did like a top 10. Right?
No, they're doing like specifically a Feld series.
I just saw that they'd done
They're
a top 10.
not
like
German.
What are they?
No, they're Norwegian.
Norwegian.
I think.
No.
Or-
Wow.
No,
I feel
they're
bad.
Scandinavian.
They're from the Netherlands.
Are they from the
Scandinavian.
Netherlands?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought in their thing they said something about speaking Norwegian. Oh.
Okay.
Sorry.
They're great. I love them.
Yeah, I
They
watched
are
the
great.
videos.
Yeah.
Everybody does a Feld thing. Like it's like a rite of passage.
But it was funny because I just saw it today. Like
I mean, it'd be cool
says-
though because then when we do ours, we can compare
It
what
says
we
here,
think to what
yeah.
they think.
it says Stefan Feld playthrough series and introduction.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was like, oh no, you guys beat us out to it.
Just send them a message saying we're doing ours in February. It'd be fun to compare lists sometime. It'd be cool if we
Yeah.
could get them on at the end of February then and we just have a chat about Feld games.
That would be a lot of fun.
Let's just do that.
And
Send them a
I'm,
message.
like they're a lot bigger than us, so I wonder. Hopefully they'll.
But Johannes is really active on the Facebook groups. Like he talks to everybody.
Okay. Oh, what Facebook groups?
The Board Gamers Unite or whatever. It's like one of the big talk groups.
Okay.
Speaking of Feld, are we playing some of his games this weekend?
Yeah, I can come by Saturday morning and play some games.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that I'm not sick.
Are you busy this weekend?
I mean, no real plans.
Okay.
So
It's a very interesting podcast talk here. Like just getting our schedule ready.
Getting our schedule.
I'm very
That's
excited
right.
that you got Macau because I thought that was a game we were just never gonna. Ryan has. I put a check mark. The list of ones we have. So we have like.
between you and Ryan or between all
No,
three
I think
of
it's
us?
just a list of games we should
all
be
three of
playing.
us.
There's
We
a
have
lot of
more.
them.
Are these just the Feld ones or just in general?
No, Feld ones.
We have 13 Feld games. We don't have Roma. We don't have Notre Dame. Do you have Notre Dame? And Bora Bora. We don't have that one. But other than that,
We don't need it. We don't need to play
Roman
that
Pirates,
one.
But that I don't even want to play that game. So.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of Feld. I mean, if we want to be like consistent, play all of them, we can. But there's not few. There's one that we probably don't have to play again. Is Castles of Burgundy because I feel like we know that one well enough.
Yeah.
I want to play it.
Okay,
We should do
we'll
one
play it
game
again
of
then.
it.
We need.
At
Well,
least.
we'll play Tuscany again too. All right. Well,
I haven't
he
played
hasn't played
Tuscany yet, so I'll have to
Tuscany.
play
as I
it.
said, we need to play it again.
We need to play all of these. I really want to play Aquasphere. Oh,
And then we'll play Bruges with the old rules and the new rules.
There's a shout out to. I just picked up Carpe Diem this week from. I can't remember her name, but I picked it up from a nice person, and they. I told them about our thing, and they said they subscribed. I always whenever I do go buy board games from the Chicago and Wisconsin area, I always am like, by the way, I'm gonna shamelessly.
Yep. Oh, yep. And got Yinzi.
What is that?
Yinzi.
Yinzi.
I think it's on my list of ones that I want. Oh yeah, that is on the list.
I don't
of
even know
ones.
what that game is. What is that? I've heard
It's
nothing
a
about
big
this.
old economic war stuff game from
War
Spielberg.
stuff game.
Who did it?
Huh?
Who did it?
Rolla and Costa are the designers.
Oh,
Roma and
I'm looking
Costa.
it up when I get home. I have
It's-
heard nothing about that game.
Yeah,
It should be fun. I traded two
been
games
on my-
off for it, so it was nice cutting 2-1.
it's been
So
on my to want list for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
same. That's I got really lucky seeing this. Somebody was like, "I have this.
Yeah.
You want it?" It's like, cool.
I have been dying to get Red Cathedral. I can find it nowhere.
It's hard to get still.
I think I just got an email from one of the game stores and they said like, we can't get it. Sorry.
You said cat and mouse.
Baby.
We can't get.
I don't want to say. Ryan.
Oh, you shattered my
Chaos.
glass. Oh, you ass. That was 100% you.
Ryan did it.
He shattered some glass.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh.
At least it wasn't our Feld board game list.
No, it's a good thing I
God.
have multiple of these, but
Well, I'll buy you a
thank
new
you.
one.
No, you don't have to buy. I got these for
Sorry.
free.
Oh. Well, then I don't feel so bad. I mean, I feel a little bad.
Great, thank you,
But-
Max.
Well,
Knock it, you just swinging your hands around.
that was my foot.
It was your foot!
They hit the cord.
Oh, okay.
Hey, do you like the sound?
Can't really
Don't
hear
do it. No.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, stop it. Put it down. Stop. Okay, don't even do that. That's worse. Great.
We have to
Okay.
vacuum now.
Do we?
I apologize. Sorry.
I hesitate to talk about this, but do we want to give our opinions a bit about this Daniel Tashini shit that's going on?
I think I'm more curious about the Phil Eklund stuff that's going on.
I don't
think,
know too much about that one.
I mean, it's pretty fun again. Games fucked up.
Fun
I don't know
Again
if you
Games
saw any
did?
of that stuff. So, main reason I want to talk about Phil Eklund stuff too is because there could be a translation issue with Tashini, but
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was seeing too, but I'm like,
but still, it's
I'm not
pretty.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's still pretty well, I mean, it's still bad,
Yeah.
like even if it's a translation thing. But so Phil Eklund is the guy that's behind all the PAX stuff. He has written essays and put footnotes in a lot of his games that are very controversial opinions about things, about like why white colonialism is a good thing, and like
Yeah.
he did post that COVID-19 is not that big of a deal, basically saying like isolating yourself isn't going to do anything. And then some other really poor opinions about stuff coming from this person.
Okay, so
And,
he has some poor opinions.
He has some
Okay.
poor opinions on things that he tries to say are scholarly opinions. And then
Okay.
Ion Game Design finally came out saying they're the ones that publish a lot of his games, saying like we are no longer going to publish Phil Eklund's essays and footnotes in his games anymore. We'll publish his games, but none of that shit. He can publish that on his own. It's not part of the game.
Yeah.
And there's people that are like really upset about it because they're just like Phil Eklund fanboys, and whatever he does is fine, even though his things can be harmful that he says. And it's like Ion Game Design's the company that's producing his games. They can make that decision. That's theirs. And they told Phil he can publish his shit on his own. They're just not going to publish it in their stuff anymore.
Okay.
So Heavy Cardboard is very close with Ion Games. They've been partners for a while, and I think Edward and Jess work with them directly for a lot of things. And they both tweet.
Are you talking Board Game Girl Jess?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they both tweeted like, "This has been a long time coming. This is great. Glad this is happening." And then the head of Fun Again Games, then I guess they had a huge Facebook or Twitter conversation between Phil and the head of Fun Again Games and Jess. And the guy from Fun Again Games was basically saying like, "Jess, you just need to basically equivalent to telling like a girl she needs to calm down and smile more, and just being like, maybe you're just in a bad mood because you're raising 4 kids, and maybe you woke up on the wrong side of bed today because you're living with a man out of wedlock and all this other stuff that's like really just like being offensive and mean for no reason that has nothing to do with the conversation." So Cole Worley, the Worley brothers, have dropped Fun Again Games from like if they used Fun Again Games to deliver their games before, they're like, we're not using them anymore.
Yeah.
I think a good amount of other people have said like, we're not supporting Fun Again Games anymore with this guy's garbage attacking on somebody for no reason. And he was basically just ass kissing Phil Eklund and just being like, he can't do anything wrong. Just calm down. You're overreacting to shit.
Jeez. Okay, so I would say that the head of whatever Fun Again Games is more of a problem than Phil Eklund. Like, whatever. He has some stupid fucking opinions. Whatever. It's, from what I've been reading, it doesn't actually, it's not being infected. It's not being put into the games. Like this, like his viewpoint, right?
From what I know, I mean, I don't have much experience. The only PAX experience I have is with PAX Premier, and that's not even his design. So
okay, yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, if it's not being like, if his ideas or whatever aren't like being represented
Reflected.
in the actual game, then whatever. I don't care. Like, he has some stupid fucking opinions. Okay, great. I agree with Ion. Don't publish the essays, the footnotes, whatever. It doesn't need to be in there. It's not essential to this game. It's whatever. Let him publish whatever he wants on his own platform, whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
If it's not in the games, fine. No big deal. Okay, I'm fine with that. But then, head of a company to then, like, outward misogyny and I guess I haven't read it, but it sounds like some mansplaining.
Yep.
Is more of an issue going on.
I mean, I guess we could say, just collect. I mean, like, not that. I don't think like my opinion means much of anything for the whatever. Like, but I mean, I guess we as specular board games don't approve of those types of words and not including people, like in this instance of the Tashini thing. Like, I guess it only in so much as to say, like, I can't remember, somebody said, I think it was I think Rodney had a really good thing, just Rodney Smith from
Rodney had a great post about that.
Yeah, he had a really good post. But also on the So Very Wrong About Games, they had a pretty good thing they said in their podcast. But I think it was them that said, just the idea that not saying anything, because I tend to, in those situations, just like back out, because I go like, what does my opinion matter? But I think they had said something along the lines of silence can be assumed, can be misconstrued as consent. So at least to just say, like, we don't agree with those types of things, used and those sentiments, and at least so much as to say on that front, like, we condemn that type of talk and not including people in the hobby. And,
Obviously, we want
normally
want to include everyone. We want guests from everywhere to come on and chat with us, and that's what we try to do. I realize that a lot have been white. We don't. Definitely not purposely try to do it. It's just whoever we can reach out to and happen that want to join us. But I mean, I don't know whether translation issue, whatever. I'm not siding with him. I'm not defending him. Yeah, I don't condone the racism, but I don't believe in this cancel culture shit that keeps going on. People can learn, people can grow, they can change, they can learn from their mistakes. It's not for me, because I'm a white dude, a straight white guy, to forgive him. It's for the others that he's actually hurting in his beliefs or his saying, for him to rectify with them. But to say that he should not be allowed to design games simply because of his view, as long as his view isn't being represented in the games. If they're good games, we'd have to, obviously with new games coming out of his, you'd have to look more and actually evaluate them and see, do they actually hold these racist views? If they don't, then it's just a game. And I don't believe in this, like, no matter what, because he said these things, we can never buy any of his stuff, I think is bullshit. I think that this idea of, like, whatever a person's personal opinion to affect someone's job and telling them that they cannot make a livelihood simply because of their opinion is complete bullshit. I think that's just pretty disgusting to say, like, you're not allowed to work, we're not going to support any place or whatever, and that you should be fired from this place because of your personal views, and therefore you shouldn't be allowed to make money or a livelihood, is pretty shit too. Like, as bad as them, be like, whoa, okay, let's relax. Like, we don't have to support it. We can call you out. There's nothing wrong with calling them out and saying, like, listen, this, like, you need to provide an argument as to why they're wrong. You can't just cancel them. Just prove in an argument why they're wrong. Prove that you're right. And convince everyone else around you that you're right, and then we change everyone's opinion, and then hopefully get them to grow and learn as a person and hopefully change.
I agree to the fact that we should give people chances to grow and learn. They have to first accept the fact that they were in the wrong, which a lot of people won't do.
They won't.
But it's also like I agree with what he did say. If I see a game that's designed by him, it's going to be a bit under a bigger lens of scrutiny on my part now before I decide to buy it or not. But it's also, that's my personal choice if I want to support him anymore or not. If I do find out he's like, I fucked up and I learned from this and I know not to do this, and it seems actually sincere, not like one of those shitty YouTube apologies, like, then yeah, cool. Then you learned, you grew. Like, I also agree that the fact that it sucks to like just shut people out because they made a mistake and you won't give them a chance to grow and learn, because that's not how we make progress.
Well, ultimately we want everybody to be able to be included, but you got to be able to admit fault and ask for forgiveness and apologize.
Yeah, if you don't admit fault, then I'm not going to support you. But if you admit that you were in the wrong, that's a step of learning that you're wanting to grow.
We've
if
all
you're not going to admit that you're wrong,
I just think, and I'm not saying like specifically in this instance or in the board game community or whatever, but I just mean like any sort of canceling out of somebody, like if they've apologized or want to come back, like we've got to be able to also be able to forgive people. And it's easy in one sense for me to say like I wasn't like super the words he used weren't like, they're offensive, but they're not targeted at me. So I'm not somebody who's going to take like personal offense by it, but like other than I don't like the word, but that I think it was being translated to. But I just think we've got to be able to forgive too if people are going to apologize and stuff, because ultimately we all want to be reconciled as humans, and just kicking people out because they screwed up is also not great either, because all of us screwed up like in some way.
I don't like the idea of like, oh, we can never now talk about his stuff ever again. I think it's complete. I think I'm not going to call it the person. I saw a Twitter thing. They were saying we need to completely ignore this person. As far as I remember, that we shouldn't be talking about this. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, Teotihuacan, Tzolk'in, if you look at the games, are there, and maybe they need to be looked at more under like more scrutiny to see like, okay, is there racial undertones going on in this game? It doesn't seem like it, though I'm not obviously an expert in that. I would need to default to someone else that knows more about the culture, right, and learn. But if we find that, there's really, like, he did a good job. He didn't bring his personal beliefs into the design of this game. Then this idea that we cannot talk about a game that's been out there when we talk about rondel games or dice placement, they're pretty influential games in our community. And to say, it's no longer talk about it, whatever, anymore, I think is bullshit.
It's one of those tricky things, too, of, like, it's like separating the art from the artist.
I
mean, it's like with music. I mean, if you were to not listen to any artists who were bad people, there would be not very much music. Right?
not even bad people, but just like things you don't agree with. Like, I guarantee there's games sitting on my shelf that are designed by someone who has a strong opinion about something that I totally don't agree with.
Right.
But I'm not going to try to dig into their life and figure it. Like, I'm not going to look up every designer that I own and then be like, oh, this person believes in this. That's leaving my collection now. It's like if that viewpoint is not being put into the game, like, I'm not going to buy a game that supports like racist ideas. Like, here's a good one I just saw a thing about, and everyone's talking. Some guy was defending this as like a don't do this. It's cancel culture. Somebody put a game on Kickstarter that's like called like Fighting COVID or COVID the Ultimate Battle or something stupid like that. So cashing in on the pandemic, first off.
Yeah.
But then somebody posted like screenshot, because it's on TTS to try. And someone posted a screenshot like, here's some cards that are in the game. And the cards are like, you're on your front porch. And this is like, I'm not making this up. This is what the card says. If you're on your front porch and a BLM protest comes by, so you shoot one of the protesters. And then another card says, a man at a gas station doesn't let you come in because you won't put on a mask, so you beat him up. And it's like,
Yep, that right there.
Okay. And somebody that was defending the game goes, well, those cards come from a deck called the Karen deck. So it's like, it's like a parody of Karen culture. And it's like, well, no, because a Karen is not someone that you think was like, oh, a Karen would go murder somebody or beat the shit out of someone. A Karen's an annoying person that's in the line and won't shut up that they're not first in line. Like something stupid and petty like that.
Some white nationalist shoots a BLM. We're not like, that's a Karen.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and it's like,
what? No.
And it's also like, these are things that are still happening right now. Like, these are things that are still going on. So it's not an appropriate time to discuss, like, to put this into a game to monetize off of it. And two, these are people actually have been shot at the protests and killed. Like, it's a thing that actually happened. It's not a thing you can joke about. People have gotten the shit beat out of them because some asshole doesn't want to wear a mask in the store. Also, like, it's not a joke thing. This isn't a cancel culture thing. You're doing this out of bad taste. It's not dark humor. It's just bad taste and being a bad person.
That's not what parody is. That's not you can't defend that as parody because that's not what parody is. Like that's literally like issues that are going on and truly affect people. That's not a joke. That's not like somehow making light of this or trying to like go like, oh my God, this is like, isn't this so ridiculous? Like, well, no, that's not an example of you making a parody. And
I mean, it's already bad enough. It's like the game's like 100% about like the COVID vaccine, and it's like, it's not, just from looking at it, it doesn't look like a clever game. It's 100% a cash grab.
Yeah.
Like,
and there was another one on Kickstarter, something like, it was done by a conservative that was trying to get back at the libtards or whatever, right? They're doing they made all the cards of like stereotypical liberals or whatever that they see, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I see how you're trying to be funny, but stay in your lane, bro. It's not funny. Like you're clearly bringing your opinions into this, and like this is a very clear like, oh, you're bringing your conservative ideas into this game, whereas like Daniel Cecchini or whatever, I don't see that in his games. I'm not seeing him degrade a culture or try to misrepresent the culture, at least from what I understand and see from the game. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I mean,
some of the examples, we're talking about, it's a clear, like, that's what we're talking about, like, bringing your ideals into this game. That's where I'll have a problem. Like, no, I'm not going
to support that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a big issue, and I think ultimately we're like three Midwestern boys, so we'd love to hear, like, I mean, like, I want to be open to hearing what other people think and talking to other people too, because I only know what so much, but and I don't know in that instance what sort of apologies there was or wasn't, but
I thought I saw an article of him like apologizing afterwards, and I mean, it did sound a lot more like apologetics towards it being mistranslated, but also at the same time trying to say he did wrong. I need to go find it. It seems like it's something that came after, but also just didn't seem like a full apology. But I'm also not. I'm not the one that is going to say I'm forgiving him, because it's not.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Funnigan also made a statement apologizing for what was said, but it's like it's also one of those apologies that comes across as like, you're not really sorry. You're more sorry that people got really upset with you for what you said.
Yep, heard that.
What'd she do?
Sneezed.
She sneezed.
Oh, she sneezed. I was like in my own head.
And I guess it all comes. Yeah, this whole thing is just, I'm a free speech absolutist, and I don't believe a free society can work without total freedom of speech. Obviously, outside of the libel, slander, direct threats of violence, and free speech.
I'll kill you.
Equal.
I'm just trying to bring some levity.
I say if you want free speech, you also have to allow free speech for those you absolutely hate or disagree with. If you don't, then you don't truly believe in free speech. And that's a lot
Also,
why a lot of my, like, I don't like this cancel culture and saying, like, we can't just stop these people. Like, yeah, they have these shitty ideas, but that's your job then to argue and provide evidence to say otherwise and show people why they're wrong.
Yeah, but free speech, I mean, you can say what you want, but then the other side has you have the option just to totally shut someone out if you want to. That's your prerogative. Like, the free speech is the fact that you can say what you want and you aren't going to get arrested for it.
Yeah.
Like, people have the right to say, like, you know what, he said this thing, fuck this guy, I'm over it, I'm not, this is done. I do agree people should have a second chance, they should have a chance to admit they made a mistake, and they should be able to learn.
Yeah.
But if they don't learn, fuck that person.
I mean, that's fine. You don't want to buy their games, don't buy their games. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay. Yeah, that you do you. I just don't think, like, one, to try to then get somebody removed from their job, I think is bullshit. And then to, like, go after others who, whatever, they may do a video on Teotihuacan, right? Because they've enjoyed this game and it's whatever, and then you're gonna, like, try to shut them out.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that either. I mean, Board and Dice Board and Dice made Feld Dashini was under them to publish their games. They are full in their rights to say, like, we don't want you to publish games with us anymore. That's their prerogative. That's their call. They're a business. They can do what they want. But it's the same thing at my job. If I walked into work and I said a racist thing at work, I would 100% get fired right away, and I would totally understand why. Even if I did learn later, like, I said something racist, and if I meant it, and I said it, and I said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, I learned from my mistake, they're not going to hire me back, and that's totally understandable.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely consequences to what you say and do.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I saw a really funny post to add some more levity, too, that said, it's not cancel culture unless it's from the Cancel region of France, otherwise it's just sparkling consequences.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not just saying, like, forgive every, like, you have to forgive, like, I don't know, there's, like, lots of nuance, and I just not everything can be so, like,
forgiveness is earned just as much as respect is earned.
Yeah, yeah, and it's got to be just like with, I guess, respect or whatever, it has to be cultivated, maybe that's right, like, I guess, earned. Yeah, it's not something you just, it's like, you know, you have to it's like a relationship. You have to grow it and nurture it. And so when you you know, I know somebody who always says, like, you know, one, I hate you, it erases 1,000 I love yous. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing someone's going to remember. So you could do a billion good things, but you're going to screw up once. That's what's going to be remembered. And so you're just going to have to work hard to come back for that and own it. And then, you know, what happens. I just I'm just interested in what people think and want to do and to hear what others think, because I don't think just writing somebody wholly off is necessarily a good thing. But if they also aren't willing to, they're not going to change if they're not willing to accept what they've done and ask for forgiveness and try and walk in that. So, it'll just be interesting to see where things go. And I do think that the board game community is pretty good at, it seems like, accountability. It seems mostly. I don't know all the ins and outs of everything, but it seems.
I've noticing that it just like any other left-leaning group can tend to sometimes go overboard and go far too on the emotional side, and it can be a problem just as much.
That's how reactions are usually big, and then you have to reassess. But,
I noticed that a lot, but
so anyway, I don't know. I have
I mean, I get
there's my ramblings about this.
And also, Jesus, you're gonna knock over another.
We're gonna break something else.
No, oh God, please don't. And also, if Board and Dice also didn't want to, like, let's say they were still gonna publish a new game from Daniel Tascini, and it was scrutinized, whatever, and people are like, okay, yeah, he's not. There's none of his ideas are in here. It's just this other game. Like, he just designed a game. It's good. We're not finding any sort of negative undertones or whatever in it. And Board and Dice decided they wanted to do it. I'm okay with that. Like, just because a company has somebody under their employment doesn't mean that they also agree with that person's personal statement or, like, personal belief. And I think people jump way to a conclusion and be like, oh, they're allowing this person to work for then that company also believes that stuff. And it's like, no, a company can have a different stance than individual employees.
Yeah.
And we should make sure to recognize that too. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. Like this is like Max and I talked about it. Like voting for Trump, he may be a racist, and you may have voted for him. It doesn't necessarily make you a racist either, because economic hardship is gonna take precedent over some shit things that he says. And for people who were struggling and noticing that things were getting worse under Obama, they were. It's not like it was happening. People in Rust Belt and whatnot, they're like, it kind of like, it was not like things were not going good for people. And they see this guy, and yeah, a lot of us can go, oh, this guy's just a con man, a fraud. But when they see him and they just see him talk like a anti-establishment, we know he was the establishment person, whatever. But when you talk about that and say you're bringing jobs back, it kind of...
It fed into like we said about already, people fed into the emotion of it. They fed into their emotions hearing that.
Yeah.
And it's a big lesson everyone can learn. It's just slow down. Just slow the fuck down. If you hear something, just take a minute before you make a response. Just listen to it, hear it out, make your own opinion about it, and then respond to it. Don't always go with your emotion, because your emotion isn't always necessarily the best reaction you can have.
It's true. Well, yeah, okay.
That was our heavy ass podcast.
It was. There's another one, but you know, I mean, it's apparently like all this suddenly was starting to happen all at once. So,
yep.
At least address it.
We also did not plan on talking about it.
No,
we didn't talk about not talking about it, and we didn't talk. We were like, I asked Ryan, what's our topic? He goes, we don't have one. We're just gonna talk about board games. So it's like, all right. So nothing was pre-planned. Probably, as you could tell if you're listening to this.
I mean, that's gonna like date the podcast, but whatever. I feel like it's just the last thing to say about it. It's important stuff to talk about. Just ignoring it isn't gonna make it go away.
Yeah.
It's happening in a hobby that we love and that we're passionate about, so it's worth discussing.
Yeah, like I said, I usually tend to stand back from big like statements or things, just because one, I don't ever want to have to come back and be like, this is what I said. Like, let me apologize. But also because I tend to think like my opinion doesn't matter. But I really did like I said before, that comment of like that can be misconstrued as you're agreeing with something. So it is important to speak out about certain things too. So as uncomfortable as it can be or whatever.
As far as we understand, we do not agree with Daniel Tascini's personal views
on that.
And that stuff.
And we don't agree with Fun Again Games leadership deciding to personally attack someone because their opinions are different.
Definitely not.
Also, then again, too, we're not cancel culturing. We're saying make your own decision. Learn and make your own choice about this. Everyone has the free will to make their own choice about everything.
So I guess we kind of talked about Feld. I think we're trying to figure out a Feld.
Hey, anyone listening, tweet at, message Board Game Ramblings. Tell them to let's hook up and do a end of the month overview.
End of February overview.
End of February overview of our Feld thoughts.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll love us bond.
Feld there. Yes. All right. We'll try to also reach out to them. Cool. All right. Well, this has been our week. This has been a week. Episode 16.
A crazy week.
A crazy week.
We feel like it's like that every podcast, though. Every time we come on here and talk, it's like, this has been a week.
It's been a week. Well, we can be done for now. All right. We'll say everybody next week. See ya.
With a lighter topic.
Bye.
Bye.